So we finally visited one of the countries I've always wanted to see, Japan. Went to a lot of places, did a lot of walking, ate so much good food, and took a lot of photos. Spent a week there, and in a series of videos, I'd like to share some of the things in and about this place that I really loved. Being one that has acquired a bit of knowledge in city planning and urban design, I'd like to first talk about urban design in Tokyo, Japan. Let's get to it. Tokyo is easily one of the best, if not the best example of transport-oriented development you could ever experience. Before this trip, I've only read about it. And upon seeing it, it is better, if not as good as it sounds. When we flew to Japan, we arrived at Narita International Airport and we still needed to travel 69 kilometers to our accommodation. In most countries, the most reasonable and probably only approach is by taxi. But here, the rail system is integrated with the airport and we simply just walked toward the ticketing machine and proceeded to the train platform. Easy. Japan's train system pretty much serves 80% of the country's mobility. It's like anywhere we went, there's a nearby train station. And not only is it accessible, it's efficient. Ticketing is simple, trains hardly arrive late, and the intervals between trains are relatively short. It does get a bit crowded at times, but it's expected when you have public transport that's this good. When visiting Japan, you can easily observe that people walk a lot, and you'll do a lot of walking too. Walkability in Tokyo is top-notch. Very little obstruction, clear and concise wayfinding, and compared to where I come from, pedestrians are priority, meaning you don't have to worry about a car running over you while crossing. Also, you can easily observe people here are healthy and fit. Even the elderly seem to have a lot of stamina for walking considerable distances. And I know that fitness is a result of a variety of factors including diet and exercise. But data shows that Japanese people walk over 7,000 steps a day. That adds to their longevity as well. This one is a huge thing for me, being a Filipino citizen who's lived his whole life in Metro Manila. Japan has very little instances of vehicular congestion. In fact, their trains get a lot more crowded than their roads. In Metro Manila, during rush hour, both the roads and public transport get congested. But then, that can be heavily attributed to Manila's significantly higher density. Tokyo's infrastructure may not be perfect, but it works. Another key observation is the noise. Most other cities tend to be really noisy with eardrum-busting sounds coming from buses, cars, and motorcycles. In Tokyo, you'll hear mostly people, wheels of electric vehicles on concrete, and the beeping sounds of crossing lights. Last and most definitely not the least, bicycles. Lots of bicycles and the infrastructure and culture that supports its utilization. You'll see people of all ages ride bicycles of different types, but what you'll commonly see is the mamachari, a simple step-through bicycle with a less aggressive setup suitable for all types of commuters. You'll see bicycles being ridden almost everywhere, on the road and even on sidewalks. And again, compared to where I came from, cyclists in Tokyo are given the respect they rightfully deserve. And I would like to note that bikes here are just left anywhere, not chained or secured, and they don't get stolen. I even found a couple of Bromptons leaning on a rail. Imagine that, $2,000 bikes left outside unsecured. Tokyo's urban design has been an eye-opening experience for me, not only as someone who studied urban planning, but as a Filipino who's lived in Metro Manila since birth. The difference is night and day. Tokyo is hailed as an organic 15-minute city. Everything you need is within 15 minutes either by foot, bicycle, or public transport. I barely see cars here, and yet mobility is very simple and very efficient. I have not tried cycling here, but I bet it doesn't feel like you're gambling with your life while pedaling. For sure, Tokyo did not achieve its current state overnight. It probably took a lot of hits and misses and a long time, but it's obvious who and not what their priorities are. Tokyo and Metro Manila are very different in terms of demographics and economics, but still, I really do hope we can take notes from this place. Like, prioritizing people first. But it is safe to say, Tokyo just makes most cities look bad. Thanks for watching me nerd out about Japan. I still have a ton of footage from our short trip, so I'll definitely be sharing more. Until then, you take care, and I'll see you.